Friends, hello and welcome back. Hopefully everyone is having a lovely day. So we're going to do a little marketplace update about halfway through the MLB season. Technically I like to think like halfway through the lifespan of the game to an extent, because when the season's over, a lot of people stop playing a game. But so it's important to know where we are in that juncture. But just to bring it up real quick before we jump into things, we are on Friday 6:30, just to give you an idea what we are, what the date is, what we're talking about here. The roster update has not come out yet. It's early in the morning, Friday morning here. But we just kind of want to talk about, what we're buying, what we're selling, what we're holding, what we should be getting rid of. Obviously, there's only 7 days left in set one, and we've been kind of preaching this for a while now to get rid of your set one players before it is too late. You don't really want to find out what's going to happen when set one ends. And there's a lot of people that realize, I can't use set one players anymore. There's a little bit of a panic that sets in. A lot of people sell them, and there's not anybody buying them because obviously people that, know set one's irrelevant aren't going to be buying them. So that'll be an interesting thing to see what happens there. As far as set one guys in general go, we will say this about some of the set ones. Set one's kind of it's risky business right now. But, there are some guys with some really wide spreads if you're on top of it. I'm saying, like, you can't be flipping these cards, buying them in the morning and trying to sell them the next day. I wouldn't be doing that. I love doing it that way. That's the way I like flipping cards. But if you have time and you're sitting there playing a game, you're just trying to work the market. That was a great time to do it. Like Munetaka Murakami, he's 15.725 by 24. There's quite a few guys with a good spread like that. And maybe not 9K, but you buy one of him, sell one, you're making a quick 7K. So you stay on top of stuff like that. There is still people buying and selling these guys, or buying these players. You can get a quick flip like that. That's kind of what we see when cards get a little more or less interest. People aren't jumping to buy them for any particular reason, but there is still an interest to buy them compared to, when they first come out, or if they're set to and they're flooding the market. And again, a lot more people playing. We're halfway through the season. Slowly but surely people stop playing the game. It's the natural life cycle of the game. You grind it out early. Later you get less people play. When people ain't playing as much, they ain't grinding as much. There's really not as big of a necessity for some of these cards, especially when you get to say the sets and stuff. We'll go let's go set 2. We'll talk about set 2 action a little bit. Go to the especially when you get to set 2. Now, obviously, you got your guys that are zeros because they're all in a program. We've talked about this. Anybody that's in a program that's a 97, 90, 97 or less, essentially, those are going to go down a quick sell at some point in time because they just slowly but surely go down because people keep playing the game. But as far as other players are concerned, there are some other guys. I like using the incognito because we talked about those. I don't know what it is. I like to look the incognito better than Kaiju, I think. And I think I just for some reason, I get stuck here instead of on Kaiju. Either one works. But we're kind of seeing that with them as well. Where like Scoots Magoots is 14K. Slamtana is 14K. Guys that were only out for a limited time. Typically. And there was a pop. There was a short time where they went back up. We brought it up. We said, jump on CT3. And, they're back to the price it was when it first came out. It's like, jump on these guys. Sell them when they get close to 18 to 20K, because they would go back up, and they did go back up, and they just kind of crashed in the last week. So as long as you manage to sell it sometime within that 10-15 day range from when they started down there at 10-12K when we brought it up the first time, you should be in good shape there. If not, I still think low risk kind of cards, if you want to buy, you don't really have to. I'm kind of indifferent on them. Low risk kind of cards though, you can buy them. And I don't imagine them going down too much more. The reason, though, being, I think we're seeing, again, we're bringing it up. The reason it's a little different for season 2, set 2, I should say, compared to set 1 is, again, we're later in the year. And the only reason people are buying these cards is if they're grinding the game. And, as the game progresses, people start to grind less. People, and more importantly, people are sitting on stubs. Like, I honestly don't have too many players I'm not interested in buying. And, that's a predicament too. It's like if people have the stubs laying around and they don't have anybody they want to buy, it's a little bit less motivating if you want to complete a set by the players. And that's what these guys are being used for. They're being used for sets and sets only. Some people might like the players, but for the most part, they're only being used for sets. So that's dictating their price. The more people that are completing sets, the higher they're going to go up. But that being said, again, I still, I don't mind on my CT3s. I don't mind the cakes. What I'm going to say though is, again, what's important here is to kind of understand where we're at in the game, understand where we're at in content as well. And the reason I'm going to say I'm going to wait, they might go down to quick sell, and then I'd be all over it, is it's been 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It's been 3-4 weeks since we had a flash sale. And when them flash sales come out, that kills the price of everything. So personally, that's kind of what I've been waiting on, is saying eventually there's a flash sale. Could be today, could be next week. But I'm waiting on that flash sale, and that's what I'm going to jump on all these guys right now. I'm in the middle right now where I don't feel like buying and selling, or buying and holding. You can obviously buy and sell. It's always a good time to buy and sell as long as you're doing it within a day. But I'm kind of in that holding phase where I'm like, let's wait a little bit. There's a roster update today. There's a moonshot event. There's a Tops Now event. So there's a lot of stuff coming out this weekend. And typically we don't see the flash sales. We have seen it in years past, but typically we ain't seen them so far this year. Like, we got a lot of content. We're not gonna do the flash sale today. That they could. And when that happens, that's what I say, you jump on anybody at that point in time that you feel confident in on a Friday on a flash sale, because they all trickle back up that are set 2 players. Nonetheless, let's talk about a couple guys. There is one set of players I'm kind of interested in the buy and sell, or not buying and sell, but you can feel comfortable buying and holding for a little bit and then flipping them. And that would be the program players. It's double XP weekend. Again, we're not touching any of the 97s. We're not touching any of the... That's not program. That'd be not reward path. It is double XP weekend. I ain't going to be touching any of these guys. None of the incognitos. They're going to be worth nothing. They'll still be worth nothing. Kaijus, they'll be worth nothing. Still worth nothing. But I am interested in the bosses. The bosses are still 99s. They're still nice cards. You still have the Bringer of Rain. That's, again, a filthy card. They're cards people want. And that's what's really important. Not only the 99s, but they're cards people want. Chase Utley's been nasty. And when that double XP comes out, right now you're still seeing them 16 to 20k range. I would imagine, we're going to see them closer to the 11 to 13k range over the weekend. I think that's an excellent time to pick them up. When double XP ends, we should see them rebound. They're not going to rebound in where they was at 25, 30k. But, we could see them rebound to, again, the 16, 20k range, the 15 to 18k range. Even if it's 15 to 18k, you picked them up for 13, and you sell them for 18, you're doing great there. And their cards, again, they flood the market. They're easy to pick up. It's not like cards you have to sit there and spam all day and try to, refresh your sell order, because they're constantly being put out there. So I think they're easy cards, if you wanted to put 5, 10 buy orders in. I like to Bringer of Rain. I like Chase. I think those are guys that, again, great cards. I see a lot of people use them. So I think those are the good ones to go after. Ultimately, because that's important. You don't want to buy, like last set was Devin Williams. Nobody really wanted Devin Williams, so his price dropped. It went back. He never really went back up. I don't know. I mean, Bringer of Rain, the Sandman Marion, he's got a name, but he doesn't have a card. I would stay away from that personally. Grady Sizemore, I don't mind Double Diamond, not a bad buy there. I definitely would stay away from that Greg Maddox. I wouldn't mind a pitcher or hitters though. I think those are good ones. As far as people you could buy, hold on to a little bit. Other than that, though, again, you gotta follow. I think we gotta follow the event. If we see something come out, I think some of those guys, if they're limited time weekend type of things, I ain't seen it. The moonshot events out of the Tops Now. I'm waiting on them to hit us with some new content in the packs, but that's the good stuff as well. As far as some of the expensive guys are concerned, we'll talk about that a little bit. I think Joe Mauer's life cycle has got to be in packs. That is, he's got to be about to come out. I'm saying he's coming out soon. 125, 125. He's best catcher in the game. I don't think anybody ever competes with that. Best catcher, best fielding catcher. And for 200k, I think, again, we could see it. Depends on when we see a flash out. This price could drop even more. But I do like the idea of buying a Joe Mauer. I think he's in a great range right now. If you're looking for bigger ticket guys like that, shortly coming out of packs, I think, best card in the game, kind of like for his position. The Big Hurt, kind of indifferent on him. Longo, again, I don't like the fact that he doesn't have a name. He does have a name, but I don't see a lot of people using him. Booger, Bootsy, the Hawk, the guys like the Hawk, they're going to keep going down. They're in the the ranked season rewards. When the ranked season reward finally ends, which is 7 days, I think. I believe it ends in 7 days. When that ends, we might see their price start to bounce a little bit. So, if you want to buy those guys, as far as, when I buy the expensive players, it's, your choice, your preference. I like to either buy them on flash sales when they drop a lot. So it's like, I can feel confident in using these guys for a few weeks and the price ain't gonna, drop them, lose out of stubs. It should bounce back up. Or I like to buy guys that are, a little bit more expensive that are ending they're ending coming out of a program, and in this case the ranked program is 7 days left, so they will be done in 7 days. I would say, okay, 7 days, the 9th, it's not 7 days 9 hours. What is that, right? 7 days 9 hours. Today's Friday. Okay, whatever. Like a Thursday, like a Wednesday Thursday range. That's when I'm interested in some of these guys, because again, right now people are still unlocking them, still getting them. They're still getting the untradeable version as well. It's a little bit more easy to obtain compared to the last one. So when they're getting the untradeable version of these guys, you know, they don't have a reason to buy the expensive one, obviously. But I'm looking at guys like that, you know, that department there, guys in a rank stuff, Chef G, Carlos Correa, the Hawk. And obviously not as common unless you're good at the game, but you're going to get them out of, well, this is where they do get them, I should say, out of that reward right there. So that's where I'm looking at those. Slow decline, but you know, I think we're starting to see them bottom out in the next after this weekend. Probably be a good time to buy those. Be comfortable if you want one of those players in your team and you don't have one. Other than that, though, I still think, you know, we're in the end of June. So many cards are being released. I think normally I'd say, well, the cards are going to slowly crash. But with set one ending, I still feel like there's a bit of where you can be confident and say, I can buy some of these players. People are starting to jump on this when set one's done. There's nothing you can do with them. And that's the thing about every set two player, even the cheap ones where I say, I don't feel too bad if you see some of these guys not out of the program, the cheap guys not in program, if they go down to like close to quick sell. I don't feel bad about buying those either, because again, one set one's over, people are only going to be working towards one set and one set only. And it's gonna affect their prices a little bit in that dynamic, and it's just the fact that people need to buy them to have the players. There's still a lot of people using set one guys, and they're gonna have to buy those players to build up their team. So I think again, set two will be all right there. I feel pretty good about things. Ultimately, I've yet to see it still. I'm yet to see any panic on these set one cards where people are like flash selling them. But I mean, that's probably what I would be keeping an eye on, is if you start to see them really dip, or you start to see, maybe you follow Reddit or Twitter or whatever, and people start to kind of, you know, really bring it up, like to get rid of them. That's when I'd start to say, all right, let's talk about some set two guys. Let's look at some guys that might be cheap that can go back up, pick on those, you know, before other people jump on that bandwagon there, because they're still worried about fire selling or other stuff before they get bad stuff. That's when you'd slowly start to see the price trickle up a little bit. Could be temporarily. That's the thing. Like I said, late in the or mid-cycle of the game, so it's important to remember it might be a temporary jump up, just like it was last time with like the Scoots Magoots, the CT3s of the world, the Chubb Seniors of the world, the guys not in packs, the guys not in programs. Other than that, though, hopefully you guys found this video helpful. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.